Hello everyone, my name is Unravled, but you can call me Rav. And on August 19th at 10:02 p.m., Pokemon posted this tweet talking about a new YouTube premiere happening at 6 a.m. PDT, and that viewer discretion is advised. And they also put this accompanying picture with it, which is very dark, it's very hard to see, so I went ahead and brightened the picture. And we can see that there's this purple goop dripping down the fence, and there's actually a part of the fence that is melted, which immediately made me think of a poison type Pokemon with a type of acid that melts things. And then I realized that the Japanese Pokemon account on Twitter posted another image as well. So here we can see the first picture they posted, and here is the second picture. And if we were to translate the post, we can see the sweetly beckoning building incident. And we can also see that it's going to be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's going to happen today at 10 p.m. JST. Like we already mentioned, it said viewer discretion is advised, and that the footage may cause psychological tension. I don't know if beckoning is the word that I would use for izanao. It's more like luring or like drawing something to you, like tempting something. And it's basically just saying there's a tempting thing happening in this. So there's a sweet thing that is luring people. Amaku inazao. So something sweet is luring Pokemon, so that made me want to think, a Pokemon is luring things to it. It looks like it's a poison type, right? I wanted to go ahead and check which Pokemon that could possibly be. So here I have a list of every currently available Pokemon that we know is going to be in Legends ZA, along with, if they have a Mega version, putting that in, or alternate forms as well. So you can see I went ahead and added Mega Beedrill, Mega Pidgeot, even though we haven't necessarily seen them in the trailers. I think that if they're in the game, they're going to be there. This list does not include any Pokemon that have not been confirmed, except for maybe Zygarde Complete. But other than that, every single evolved form of Pokemon is in this list. So if we go to here and we change this to the poison type, we can see all of the poison types, because I think this is going to be a poison type with acid, that it could be. Looking at this, Pokemon that have a sweet smell or do anything with poison and smelling, we've got Garbodor, Roserade, and Victory Bell. And now I also want to go ahead and look at the Kalos Pokedex as well, because just because the Pokemon hasn't been officially revealed yet in Legends ZA, that doesn't mean that it might not be there. So I want to double check and look at every Pokemon that could be possible. And if we do that, we can see that maybe it could be a Venusaur, although I don't think it's Venusaur, because if it was, they would have showed it in a different trailer. It wouldn't have its own premiere. It could be a Mega Vileplume. It could be a Mega Skuntank. We don't know. So I want to just look at each of these Pokemon's Pokedex entries and then just rule out one by one which one it could be. And honestly, the first one we can rule out is definitely Garbodor. Garbodor is always mentioned as having a foul-smelling poison. It does shoot poison out of its body, but it's always known as foul-smelling. It's not a good smell. Same thing with Skuntank. Skuntank's Pokedex entries are filled with it saying that it is a vile-smelling fluid, a stinky fluid, horribly smelling, repugnant. It also doesn't mention anywhere that it melts things, and neither does Garbodor's. So I think we can rule out those Pokemon as well. To rule out Vileplume next, Vileplume only has one dex entry about attracting or luring things to it. I think it's repeated further down. It's from Sapphire, and it says Vileplume has the world's largest petals. They are used to attract prey. So it's not a smell, it's just the petals. And it's only talking about poisonous pollen. It never talks about actually having poison that can melt things. So I think we can rule out Vileplume as well, which leaves us with just Venusaur, Roserade, and Victory Bell. Now, Venusaur does have several dex entries that talk about it attracting other Pokemon to it. So we can see that the scent attracts other Pokemon, the scent attracts other Pokemon, the scent attracts other Pokemon. It does lure the Pokemon. However, it tells us what kind of thing it does. It says the flower petals release a pleasant fragrance. It soothes the emotions of people. And in fact, one of its other dex entries says that it becalms those that are engaged in battle. So its scent doesn't lure things, it calms them down. So it attracts the Pokemon and calms them down. So I don't think it can be Mega Venusaur. I already mentioned I don't think it is, but I'm just ruling out every possible option. When we look at Roserade, we do see that it attracts prey with a sweet aroma. Then it downs them with thorny vines. Its sweet aroma attracts prey, it spews poison. The more toxic it is, the sweeter its aroma. It has a bunch of different examples of it luring prey, but it doesn't talk about shooting acid. So now we move on to Victory Bell. Victory Bell has two different types of dex entries. it's got, well, 2 different parts to every deck entry pretty much, as you can see with all of the highlighting I've done here in green and yellow. Yellow is it luring Pokemon with a sweet smell. Green is talking about acid. So if we were to go back to the initial tweet here, the sweetly beckoning building incident or invitation or luring, we look at the fence, we see melted acid, we see people, we see acid trailing down the hallway. We don't necessarily see it melting in these pictures, but I think if we are going to have to choose a Pokemon that this could be, if it's not a new Pokemon, if it's a mega form of a Pokemon, I think it's safe to say that it is either going to be a Mega Victory Bell, I think that's a 90% guarantee, or it could be 10% be a Mega Roserade. Either one of them I would be completely fine with. New Megas are always cool, new Pokemon are always cool. But looking at just the dex entries and the information that we have from this, until we know more, this is probably most likely going to be a Mega Victory Bell or Mega Roserade. But that's just my speculation. We'll have to wait till later today to find out. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Peace.